On the 10th of this month, a Bastrop County landowner will formally sign an agreement with environmentalists and the federal government.
The Safe Harbor Agreement, as it's called, will provide new protections for the endangered Houston toad. But as Jim Swift tells us out on the porch tonight, all three parties to the agreement have already been cooperating with each other for 2 years.
Over in Bastrop County, there are more Republican bumper stickers on the back of Bob Long's pickup truck than there were hippies at a Grateful Dead concert back in the 1960s.
I'm a very conservative property rights Republican county chairman of Bastrop County, which doesn't necessarily like the encroachment of the federal government.
Especially the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Department, which a few years back came to Bastrop County and started barking orders about how to save the endangered species, the Houston toad.
At first, it was confrontational. I mean, really confrontational, and that's the way it's always seemed to be with federal bureaucracy.
So, them that wear boots in Bastrop County got flat bent over all this, until they heard some soothing words from a woman wearing decidedly unmanly footwear.
The safe harbor idea gives folks an incentive if they actually take some steps to protect habitat or restore it for an endangered species. In return for that, they get some regulatory flexibility.
Translation: if the landowner uses fence and other methods of keeping his cows from stepping on the toads for 10 years, then he can pretty much do what he wants with his land after that. Oh, yeah. And he gets some money, too.
We believe that the net benefit to the species as a result of having that decade's worth of good management and protection will be greater than ultimately the harm that might result. But we're also betting that most landowners really are very good stewards of the land, and once they're comfortable with those management practices, they're going to be comfortable with continuing those.
She thinks I might re-up and do it another 10 years. Well, let's see how it works, see? And there are a lot of people watching me to see how it works, to see if they want to jump in.
If the Houston toad in particular, and the environment in general, stand to benefit from all this, so do we.
We've had such a good relationship with Environmental Defense, and they in turn have brought U.S. Fish and Wildlife on board as good communication.
5 years ago, folks didn't even want to talk to us or the Fish and Wildlife Service about whether these species occurred on their property. I think that's indicative of a real shift.
Another reminder of what we can get done when we listen to each other. Out on the porch, Jim Swift, KXAN News.